Today on BigCTV, we review Guillermo del Toro's new blockbuster Pacific Rim, Relient K's new album Collapsible Lung, and talk about next-gen consoles. Enjoy. Hello once again, welcome to BigCTV episode 3 of season 2. I'm Chris, aka Big C. Today's episode is a fairly small one compared to our last two blockbusters that had quite a bit of things in them. This time we're just going to be doing a couple video reviews, and we're going to be talking about next-gen consoles in our sequence entitled Next Gen Talk. So first, let's kick things off right with a video review of Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim.
We always thought alien life would come from the stars. But it came from deep beneath the Pacific.
What the hell is going on?
At first glimpse, Pacific Rim looks like basically a giant blockbuster action film featuring giant robots versus giant monsters. Well, I'm happy to report that's exactly what it is. And if that's what you're looking for, that's what you'll get, and then some. Pacific Rim is a high-octane action movie from Guillermo del Toro, the visionary director behind Pan's Labyrinth and the Hellboy movies. Del Toro gives a normally fairly novel concept a little bit more edge than what people are used to. Yes, it is giant robots versus giant aliens, but he makes the world seem a little more realistic than that would normally be seen. The body parts of these giant aliens that are destroyed are used by different civilizations for decorative purposes or sold on the black market. And then the giant robots have a lot of different things added in to make them deadly fighting machines against these giant monsters. The cast is respectable of fairly lesser-known actors who do a pretty good job in conveying emotion in terms of the storyline. However, they're not the highlights. It's all about the action, and that is spectacular. This is a movie you're going to want to see on the biggest screen you can in 3D. The 3D is one of the best uses of 3D I have ever seen for a movie. So if you want to see 3D used correctly, this is the movie to see. The action is absolutely fantastic, intense, and purely wonderful. It is exactly what every 14-year-old boy was ever hoping a giant robot versus giant monster movie would be. We award Pacific Rim A-.
Pacific Rim.
Alright, so that was our video review of Pacific Rim. Now we're going to do a video review of a music album. This is the first time we've done this since the show began, 2 weeks ago. This album is from Relient K, and the album is called Collapsible Lung. Take a look and a listen. It's been 4 years since Relient K's last effort, Forget Not Slow Down, was released. So fans have been itching and scratching for a new album. Well, it's finally here, and it's called Collapsible Lung. It's their first album on their own record label, Mono vs. Stereo, that they helped to found a few years ago. So what's Relient K been up to these days? Well, one thing you'll definitely note is that this album is a lot more geared toward the pop crowd than their previous efforts. And that can be both a good thing and a bad thing. There's a lot more synth pop and a lot more songs about relationships than there were previously. And although this may appeal a lot more to the outside crowd, fans of the very popular Christian band, it may seem that the message is a little bit lost. I do agree that there are some moments of the album where you kind of question what they're going for, or is it just what it seems like on the outside. But even if you treat it just purely as a fun pop album, it's a good time. The tracks are very catchy, and they do feature some different sounds for Relient K than what you're used to, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Top tracks on this album include Don't Blink, Boomerang, PTL, and That's My Jam. We award Relient K's Collapsible Lung a B+. So that was our video review of Relient K's Collapsible Lung. It was our first music review, so it took a little bit of tweaking and trying to figure out where we were going to go from there. But I hope you enjoyed the format. Now we're on to a sequence we like to call Next Gen Talk, where we talk about everything that's going on with the next gen consoles launching later this year. Next Gen Talk. Today on Next Gen Talk, we have a few topics we want to talk about just because they're fairly relevant. This week's been a fairly slow week in terms of next gen information, but we do have a few things that are particularly interesting. First of all, and this one's probably the most important to those of you who have not quite pre-ordered your system yet. Good luck finding one. That's right, pre-orders are ceasing at stores all over the place. GameStop has been confirmed as of yesterday to have completely cut off both Xbox One and PlayStation 4 pre-orders. Amazon has also stopped pre-ordering both systems, and Best Buy has reportedly stopped pre-ordering Xbox Ones. Don't know anything else beyond that, but those are some pretty big name retailers that have already stopped doing pre-orders. So if you haven't pre-ordered your system yet, you might be out of luck in terms of launch day, unless you're one of those people who decide to camp out for a week to try to get one. In that case, I do not envy you whatsoever. But hey, if you did pre-order your system, good for you. Everyone else is going to have a tough time getting one. Next, we're going to talk about the PlayStation 4. Some interesting information came out. Last time on Next Gen Talk, I had a rant about how the PlayStation 4 camera is not included in the system. Well, now there's a reason why that is more frustrating. Obviously, the top reason is because the motion sensing abilities on the controller are useless. Well, on top of that, Sony has just confirmed that the motion sensing move bar that is built into the controller and has that really bright blue light cannot be turned off and will be constantly draining your battery when you're playing with your DualShock 4 controller. So on top of it being useless, it's going to drain your battery and have a really bright blue light shining all the time. That's going to be annoying. So, again, for those of you who are all high and mighty on the PlayStation 4, another little blemish and another little problem. I just want to point that out. Now, like I said, as you can tell, I'm a little bit biased towards the Xbox One just because I am getting one. However, I do fully intend to get a PlayStation 4 at some point. So, even though I am giving information that seems a little biased one way, I still want a PS4. Lastly, Call of Duty Ghosts, one of the big next-gen launch titles, has been confirmed to have some sort of a co-op mode. Activision and Infinity Ward have not confirmed yet what this may be. Most people are speculating it's a update to the popular Modern Warfare 3 co-op function, Spec Ops. We don't know that for sure, but supposedly it's going to have some kind of co-op, which is exciting for those of us who are getting more than one controller or just want to play online with friends and not have to kill your friends. That's really all I've got in terms of next-gen talk. And that's really all I got in terms of this episode. I know it's been kind of quick and short, but it's been a kind of slow week. So that's going to do it for this episode of BigCTV. Hopefully next week we'll have a little more content to show. But I hope you enjoyed what we have. Here is our review recap for those who just skipped ahead to the next-gen talk sequence. We awarded Pacific Rim a B+. Sorry. My bad. We're going to cut this. Here is our recap for those of you who want a little flashback of what the review scores were. We rewarded Pacific Rim an A-, and Relient K's Collapsible Lung a B+. There you go. So that's it for this episode of BigCTV. I'm Chris. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.